I don't care if they don't like Ghost of Yotei. That's up to them. They have that right. But it's more of just the blanket assault on something without bothering to do one iota of digging, because it's easier to go with the anger impulse of, see, they're making that woke again. And it's so disrespectful when it's to a studio that's done nothing but delivered time and time and time again. Ghost of Yotei is being written by the same people that wrote Mass Effect Andromeda, Anthem, and Dragon Age Veilguard. Are you hyped? Let me explain something, idiots. There's a lot of people who write video games. Now, I happen to have liked Dragon Age Veilguard, but I can respect and I understand that you may not. And I respect your opinion on that. That's great. I can even respect the fact that you don't like because you think it's woke. Whatever. Okay? Take a fucking moment before you run to the internet and start banging your drum about, oh, this is fucked. It's so fucking fucked. It's woke. Let me explain something to you. There's a lot of writers on these games. And if you actually had a fucking modicum of intelligence, okay, you would understand that even Dragon Age, Veilguard, which was written like a young adult novel. It had some real problems with the writing. There was some really good scenario design in that game. There was some really good meta plot in that game. For all you know, these two people that are now on Yotei are the guys and girls that did that, right? Have a little respect for the pedigree of Sucker Punch. Have they ever let you motherfuckers down? Have they ever let you motherfuckers down? And instead of going, you know what? I trust that studio. And if they're going to pull people from other teams that are available, maybe they've done the work in researching who they bring on to hire people that it's like, yeah, I didn't like the CW tone of Dragon Age Veilguard. That wasn't these two. These two were the ones that came up with the idea of taking Solus and burying him in the fucking consciousness of Rook. I thought that was a pretty cool idea. These are the ones that figured out a way to explain what the Darkspawn are. I thought that was kind of a cool idea. But instead, now you're just running to the internet. Look, guys, I got another one. Maybe Grums will notice me. Fuck you. What do you mean Sucker Punch has let you down? They may have let you down, and, you know, I didn't like this part of an Infamous. They have not let you down, or most people down, as a studio in general. And they certainly haven't let you down with their, quote, woke agenda. Now, if they do that, sure. Now, again, Ravnos, no, you're wrong. They said Sucker Punch let them down because they abandoned Sly Cooper to make Assassin's Creed. Tsushima and white trash with powers. You know who let them down? The gamers. You think they didn't make a new Sly Cooper because there was money to print? They didn't do it because nobody was buying it comparatively, and they would have gone out of business. Okay, so that's a you problem. That's a fan problem. Then you get pissed at the fans that didn't show up for Sly Cooper. Don't get pissed at them. Fucking goddamn floozy.
Oftentimes on gaming, particularly something like a role-playing game where you have a lot of different characters, like a Dragon Age, like a Baldur's Gate, you have writers that can be assigned to specific characters. And
right.
So, okay, this is the woman who said, oh, I wrote Lucianus in Dragon Age Veilguard. Here's this guy who said, oh, I wrote Asterion in Baldur's Gate. And it seems as though in this time, that's largely a voluntary thing. The writers are coming forward. They're claiming, hey, I did this. Yet there's also a professional responsibility side to that, an accountability element to it in terms of the performance of the writer in their role that they're designated to perform. So I suppose the question that I would pose is, what do you think of the idea of more formalizing the crediting for a game to say, okay, it's not here's writers and a list of 8 people. It's writer for this character, writer for that character, writer for meta story, writer for etc. Setting details.
Well, I think that already happens at a professional level. I think the question of, you know, if you're going to go for a job interview and, you know, again, kind of like the guys at Sucker Punch, you think they're not going to ask them, okay, well, I played Baldur's Gate. What are you responsible for? Right. All that's already happening. The idea of making it more, reflected in more of a public facing thing, I think that has more to do with just the individuals. If they want it to, if these guys want to let the public or part of the PR campaign know, hey, we like, if you look at Elden Ring, where it's like they brought on George Martin and they said, we know roughly what he did, right? Which was to take kind of a rough idea and not flesh it out in a plot narrative, but flesh out some of the world. And then it kind of went back to the From guys. And that was mostly all they had. And then he showed back up for PR. That happens a lot too. A lot of people come and go in a project and contribute ideas. And so I'm just saying that it's like, it's one thing. I think my new bee in my bonnet lately is the internet. Not when people are mad about things I like. I don't care if people don't like Dragon Age Veilguard. I don't care if they don't like Ghost of Yotei. That's up to them. They have that right. But it's more of just the blanket assault on something without bothering to do one iota of digging, because it's easier to go with the anger impulse of, see, they're making that woke again. And it's so disrespectful when it's to a studio that's done nothing but delivered time and time and time again. It's like if it was Naughty Dog, and I love Naughty Dog stuff and I love Last of Us Part 2, but there are people that I think have built a valid sense that Naughty Dog has built a reputation for being what they would call woke, what I would call just nice human being stories, but whatever. I get it. I understand what they're talking about. And I think Naughty Dog has made that bed, and whether they like lying in it or not, they've made that bed with that kind of audience. But Sucker Punch hasn't earned that from these people. Sucker Punch has done nothing but make meat and potatoes, great, entertaining content since the minute they burst on the scene with N64, whatever that little wheelie guy was, and then went on to do Sly Cooper. That doesn't mean everybody's got to love these guys, but they're not that, they haven't shown themselves to be that kind of studio. And it's just so disingenuous for these fucking grifter fucks to jump all over them because they made some hires of people. I mean, it just shows such an ignorance of creation. It's like these two writers may have been brilliant when it comes to writing. Let's just say they're really good at writing NPC dialogue, right? The Ghost of Yotei story is done, right? The base of it already. They're filling in the blanks at this point. And they probably were like, hey, you know what wasn't bad about Veilguard was when you went into the various cities and just talked to people mulling around. They had we like that. And we got a lot of NPCs to write. Let's bring, these people don't know, and they're still comfortable attacking them. Piss me off. What's ironic about it? What did I say?
What is ironic is that I believe that a lot of the perspective of people who are targeting deigned woke decisions are truly believing and attempting to affect creation in a positive way. And you're making the statement that they're having an inverse effect, which is the irony.
I don't know if they're having an inverse effect on the creation. I think they're just basically having they're being assholes, and they're being disrespectful to people who have done nothing but delivered for them time and time again. It's like they don't deserve the target that's being painted because they made a hire. It's like, where does it end with these people? It's disgusting to me. It's disgusting.
And I think to loop back a bit to the initial question I had, I'm curious if you think that it would be better for, I should say, the companies, or better for the writers if there was more publicly facing information about their responsibilities. Would the companies be more protected because they can sort of say, that writer, they handled that character, nobody liked that character, well, throw them under the bus? Or would the writers be better protected by knowing, hey, this was my job, this is what I did, and this is how I did it? And especially if they're successful? Or do you think that it's better for one party or the other that it stays voluntary as a decision?
I think, honestly, if these companies actually if they have to start taking into account that a vocal minority, but nevertheless they're very vocal minority of their audience is so damaging, if they don't treat that audience like they're little fucking babies, then I honestly think a lot of the people that are being paid to create this entertainment and or art, depending, probably would just say, you know what, thanks very much. I'm going to go do something indie, because it's like there's a point where it's like you can be the world's best chef and you can love cooking, but if you're cooking for fucking Nazis, I'd rather just not cook. And I'm not saying these people are Nazis. I'm saying that I'm trying to paint with the broadest brush of, it's like there is a point where your customer can be so off-putting that it doesn't matter that they pay the bills. I'll just go get another job because I don't want to entertain you.